Welcome to the Chatline. I'm Emily,
And I'm Missy.
and we're bringing you everything from the latest trends to wild celebrity gossip, plus our own chaotic lives. So grab a seat and tune into our Chatline.
Because we are the in-law duo you didn't know you needed. So what have you been up to for the last week?
This past week has been so busy. So Wesley's been doing this for a while, but I've started joining him, going to the gym in the mornings, a whole serious trainer kind of thing. And I've enjoyed it, but it's wore me out.
Yeah, like those early mornings like that. You guys are morning people, so that's fantastic. I am not naturally a morning person at all. But I remember when I was doing the homeschooling thing and all of that, I would get up early and do it. And you do feel so accomplished by 9 a.m. But then I was completely worn out for the rest of the day. So there has to be some kind of happy medium, but I don't know what it is.
Because come 2:00, we're exhausted.
Yeah, for sure. And he's still got outside of the homework to do, and you've got inside of the homework to do, or whatever you got going on.
What have you been up to?
Of course, Sunday was super busy, which is great. But then we have concrete countertops, as you know, Emily. So I'm just letting everybody know we have concrete countertops that my husband put in when we moved into this house. And then we, like crazies, decided about a year and a half ago that we wanted a different color. And so we had tried to put this I don't even remember what it is. It's something that's supposed to last, but it didn't, right? Because it's just everyday life in the kitchen. And so we've been talking about scraping it off and how to do that. And so that was done yesterday, which, as you can imagine, gave me a complete migraine because of all the chemicals in the house. And it's winter. So it's open the windows, but still you're trying not to freeze yourself. So anyway, it's been an interesting week so far.
Yep, and it's only Wednesday.
But that's great because we've gotten so much done already. And I started a new TikTok series, do you think TikTok's going to stick around or not?
Really don't know because I've heard all kinds of different things from big creators and I really don't know. I don't know. But your series is really good. So
thank you. And of course I'm learning about Reels and learning about YouTube Shorts and all of that kind of thing. But I saw your new series as well. And I want you to tell me more about it because it sounds, what is it called? Hot Girl Hobbies?
Yeah, I think it's Hot Girl Habits, Hot Girl Hobbies. I can't remember which one I decided on. There's just a lot of things that I've always wanted to learn and just haven't put the time in to learn. But they're hobbies or habits, but they're also things I feel would help me in life. So going to Pilates is something that I want to do. I want to be that kind of girl.
Yeah.
But I've never been into Pilates ever in my life. So out and see how it goes. Yeah. Things like that.
Listen, Pilates is for real.
It's hard.
It's no joke. Yeah. Men and men who do Pilates, and you're how do they stay in shape? And wow, they still look good and they're still so healthy. And you find out they've been doing Pilates for years. You're yeah, that's the reason. You don't have to tell me anything more. So I have this show that I have been watching that I have to discuss with somebody.
Okay.
And you have to promise me before I say the name that you're not going to get up and walk out.
Okay.
You're going to get so mad at me for a minute, but then you're going to understand why I'm bringing it up.
Is it Yellowstone?
No, it's not that.
I have no idea. It's worse.
It's the Traitors.
We're ending the podcast now.
Y'all just have to know that I have tried to get Wes and Emily to watch the Traitors since season 1. And I've always been you don't understand. This is the best thing. Y'all will love it, but you have to give it 3 shows. And you guys have just been so stubborn. You've stonewalled me, which I've done the same to you on shows. I can't remember what one of them is right now, but I've been the same way with you. You've been have you watched this yet? And you're no, and I'm the same way. But I have literally no one else to talk to about this. So you're going to have to just ride with me for a minute. Are you game?
Okay, I can handle it. I can handle it.
Okay. Okay. Because this is season 3, and they have definitely, the producers, director, whoever makes these decisions have definitely taken notes because they hook you in this season, first half of the first episode. And I've always been like, I don't really understand why any of us stuck with this show, like in the past, like for the first few episodes and then you were really hooked. But I was like, oh, it was because of the people they chose. Because last season, I only watched it because of this lady called Phaedra from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't even know if you know who she is. I don't even watch Real Housewives of Atlanta anymore, but I love Phaedra.
Yeah.
And she did not disappoint. But anyway, season 3, I honestly was not really interested in anybody that was on the show. And I was like, I don't even think I'm really going to watch it this year. And Mark, of all people, was like, hey, do you know that the new season of Traitors is on? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I didn't have anything else to watch the other night. And I watched episode 1 and they hooked me in. Yeah. So I'm just really curious. I'm going to go through the cast and I want you to tell me if you know anybody. And I will tell you, who I knew and who I didn't know. There's a ton. Seems like there's 5 or 6 more than usual as well. Spoilers, 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 because you never know what's going to fly out of my mouth when I'm talking about a show. So if you are not caught up, I'm on episode 3, just finished episode 3. And so if somebody is listening and has not watched it and does not want any spoilers, fast forward. Don't stop listening. Just fast forward a little bit. Right.
I've seen a lot of people like on Instagram and TikTok like talk about like they'll post clips from like this season of Traitors, and every time it comes up, I'm like scrolling. But it is like like everyone's talking about this season, so it's a popular show. I just haven't gotten into it yet.
And it's all reality stars, which I actually preferred. They mixed reality with real people. I think it was the first season, and it actually was kind of brutal to watch because the reality stars knew how to game play.
Yeah.
And, we normal people are just out there trying to make friends and, loving everybody and, have no idea how
We're
to
excited
game
about the cameras.
And so they've also talked about that on other podcasts and just articles and things like the Real Housewives almost are at a disadvantage because their shows are not competition shows. They are like girl power and, let's be a team and, we're fussing with this one and we're going to make a great TV show. As the people from Survivor and The Challenge, which I've never even seen The Challenge, but Big Brother, those kind of things know what it's about and like are into the alliances and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So the cast.
Okay.
Tom Sandoval.
Tom Sandoval?
Yes.
Is that okay? Is he the one with the big thick mustache that plays on Blue Bloods?
No. Oh,
okay.
He's Vanderpump Rules, the one that cheated on Ariana. The Sandoval. I was like, I maybe should have just thrown that one on you first off. So, I mean, honestly, I did not want to see him. Like, I was like, I'm not into him at all.
No.
But it's hilariously horrible. It's, again, spoiler alert. He is at the first breakfast. And so that means, he survived the first night. And so I had to have someone else point out to me what this was. And you're going to laugh your head off because I'm just ridiculously innocent about this particular thing. So they're all sitting at the breakfast table and the host comes in and he's talking about who got murdered officially and all of that. And Tom Sandoval is sitting there with his little sweater on. Everybody dresses up to the nines because they're in this Scottish castle and, you're on TV. So everybody's looking super cute. And all of a sudden, when the host is talking, Tom Sandoval gets up, takes off his sweater, and he's just kind of over there by the window and he's in this t-shirt. And I'm like, oh, he must have got hot. Like they must really have the fire roaring in that place. And you see in his armpit, I'm not even kidding you. It's like sweat from probably here to here on both of his arms, right? And I'm like, that poor guy, he's so hot. Wow. It must be really hot in there. And I was like, is he going through menopause? Like, what's the deal? Well, other people have talked about this. It's most likely, allegedly, detox sweats. They're like, he most likely couldn't have got whatever, that he was needing on the plane. And I mean, they are in California. So there's a lot of things that are legal there that aren't legal where I live.
Yeah.
And so anyway, everybody's like, we literally are seeing Tom Sandoval detox on our. Okay. All right.
I wouldn't have thought that though. Yeah, I
You
would
wouldn't
not
have thought that either. I was like, poor guy, he's so hot. How are these other people thinking it? I really was thinking that. Okay. So the next cast member is Zac Efron's brother, Dylan.
I didn't know he had a brother.
Yeah, same. Do you know Boston Rob from Survivor? Because he's been on it like several times.
That he sounds familiar. I bet I would know if I saw a clip of him,
Okay, I knew him from his very first season on Survivor because I used to watch Survivor and then I haven't in probably 14, 15 seasons. But because he was on very early and then they kept bringing him back. And then I've also heard since then he's been on The Amazing Race and that kind of thing. But
wow.
Yeah, I've only watched a couple
of love that kind of thing then.
Yeah. Diane from The Real Housewives of Dubai.
Yes.
You know her?
Yes.
Okay. He's on. Robin Dixon from The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Okay.
Do you know her?
I don't think so. No.
It's always this thing on that show. Oh, she's not really living in Potomac. She's an hour away, like giving shade like you can't really afford a house. I mean, you got yourself on the show, so you're doing fine.
Yeah.
Like give a girl a break. Okay, so the next one is Dolores, and she's from the Housewives of New Jersey. She's I hate to say an older lady, but she is like compared to, do you know Dolores?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Yeah, she's been around for a minute. She's great. So then there's Dorinda, which was also a Real Housewife. She's not currently on there. I personally have never watched a season with her. I think she was on Real Housewives of New York, but I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
But I knew because I'm kind of in that Bravo world, I knew who she was. But this was my first show with her on it. Do you know Dorinda?
I did not know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay. Do you know Nikki Bella? The World Wrestling Federation or...
Wait, the WWE, entertainment, not like real fighting.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
He had a twin sister and they were like...
Yeah.
Okay, she's on there.
Yeah.
Bob Harper from The Biggest Loser. Do you know him? He was on
bald?
a lot with... No, he's got really light blonde hair, though. With BM Michaels, do you remember her from Biggest Loser? Okay. He was
one of the trainers?
Yes. Sorry. Yes, he was one of the main people.
Okay,
He's on there, which shocked me. And then the last one that I knew from TV was Sierra from Summer House.
What's Summer House?
Okay.
Yeah.
I have only watched one season of Summer House. I am way behind on that. So my understanding of it is that there is a group of friends who go to, oh my word, is it Martha's Vineyard? Somewhere like that, close to New York, but not. No, so it's not Martha's. Oh my word. Wherever all the rich people go from New York every weekend, whatever that place is called.
The Hamptons?
Yes, thank you. I'm 99% sure it's the Hamptons. And they all rent this house all summer. And basically there are cameras there showing them partying all weekend. And and so I thought that's what it is. I thought everybody was already reality stars that came in together because that's my understanding of Winter House. I've never watched that though. But I think it was just a group of friends who then became reality stars from Summer House. I think somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding. Yeah. But I just met Sierra, if you want to call it met that, last season because I watched Summer House because Craig Conover from Southern Charm was on Summer House because he was a girl's boyfriend. And I've watched Southern Charm for a long time. And that's the only reason why I watched Summer House. But then I got embroiled in all this other stuff, of course. Okay. So here's the one that I don't know. So Bob, the drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race. Do you know them? Okay.
Yes.
They're on there. Brittany Haynes from Big Brother.
It's not the main host, right?
No, I'm
Yeah.
99% sure it's not the main host. Like Julie, somebody.
Yes.
Okay, well, if you have watched Big Brother at all, apparently she really like put a knife to this girl named Danielle Reyes or Reyes. I don't know how to pronounce her last name because they're both on here. And so that's a big thing
Oh,
about, like as they're driving up, they're like, well, who would you not want to see? She's like,
her.
Brittany. Yeah. And of course, they're standing right there when you get there. Of course. Okay. But you don't know either one of them from Big Brother.
No, I don't think I've ever watched Big Brother like through a whole season, to be honest.
I
Yeah.
did probably the first 2 seasons. And then I was just like, this is too much. Because I don't like the backstabbing. Like, I don't like to be like, oh, my lands, they were in this alliance. I thought they were here. That
But you
makes
like
me like,
Housewives?
yeah, I know. Very, very good point. Very good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what you're getting into.
exactly. Again, I'm not going to pronounce these last names correctly, but another girl is Carolyn Weiger from Survivor.
I don't know who that. No.
Wow. Chriselle Stoss from Selling Sunset.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. She's on there.
I love Selling Sunset.
It seems like it'd be cool. I don't know why. I'll probably need to watch that tonight because
Yeah.
I don't know
I
why.
think you'd like it.
You like it?
I think you would too.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Gabby Wendy from The Bachelor. Probably if you saw faces, you would be like,
Yeah. Yeah. I need to have like a,
like,
a screen up for him.
we should. We should be like, hey, if I was real fancy, I could do that. Okay, Jeremy Collins from Survivor.
I think I know him. No.
Yeah. He is, honest to goodness, not knowing anything about him. I've never watched his Survivor seasons. He is someone that if I was in the castle, I'd be like, hey, Jeremy, what do you know? And I would be like sticking to Jeremy like glue, and I have no idea why. I just feel like he's really smart. I just feel like he's
Okay.
really smart. And I
Okay.
would want to be around smart people. Because I would be, I'd be like Ian running around like, I don't even know how to play this game. What is going on? Then
Just trying to figure it out.
There's some guy called Tony Velachos. Velachos, I don't know. He's from Survivor as well. He's bald. You asked me about somebody who's bald a while ago. Yeah, he's bald.
Yeah, no, I got that confused with the Biggest Loser guy. Yeah.
Gotcha. Lord Ivor Mountbatten. He's the first Elizabeth II.
That's so crazy.
They normally have like some weird politician thrown in there that you're like, what? You're okay.
That's really funny.
Sam Ashgari, he used to be with Britney Spears.
Wait, he used to what with Britney Spears? He used to date Britney
He used
Spears?
to be with her. I don't know if they were actually married or not, but he was with her.
I think that's not the guy. Wait, like how recent was he with her? Like in the past, like 5 years?
I think so. He's got really dark hair. He's got some movie or some show coming out now. I don't know. So he's an actor, but I don't think he's like made it on his own yet. I hate to be like that, but that's just.
I think I know who he is. I think he was in the background of like, have you seen her video where she's dancing with a knife in her kitchen?
No, I've heard about it a lot.
It's weird. It's not, I mean, it's very Britney Spears. So like take that how you want if it's inappropriate or not. But she was just kind of like twirling, like doing dances like with a knife. And I'm pretty sure he was in the background of it.
Probably. Because that's been a minute, right?
Yeah. That's been like within the past 5 years or so.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate, but again, not sure.
Right.
Because I don't know.
We're going to get a bunch of comments that I'm like totally wrong.
Well, no, they'll be like, you pronounce his name this way, don't you know? I'm like, no, I do not.
Sorry.
Another guy is Wells Adams, and he's from Bachelor in Paradise or Bachelorette in Paradise. I don't know him.
So I always get the Bachelor, Bachelorette people confused on and how we feel about them. I think he was a very hated character. I might be wrong about that.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only one that's really been talked about, like how they are in real life, is, of course, Tom Sandoval. And then also like the Survivor people, they're always like, oh, they were so vicious. Well, they talk about that with Big Brother too. So I don't know. I mean, it is called Survivor for a reason.
Yeah.
And then there are 2 others. One, they didn't actually list on the the cast because they're like surprise people that come in. And one of them, I remember, his name is either Wes or West. And I'm sorry to my oldest because at times it sounds like people are saying West, and then other times it sounds like West. He's from The Challenge. And like I said, I've never watched that game show ever. And then there's one other guy from Survivor that I can see his face, but I can't remember what his name is. And so it was interesting how they brought them into the game. But now, honestly, that round table that they all sit around, you are like literally shoulder to shoulder with people. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's time to start chopping people off so that they can have more room at their table.
For real, like I got thinking about how long it was going to take this season for all of these people to go down to like 4 or 5 like they do at the finale. And I'm like, I'm going to get sick of all of y'all, like for real. And I'm also one of those people who fast forward through a lot of things that I don't want to see. Like, I don't care about the challenges very much. I know a lot of podcasters like love to think about how they would do it. And I'm like, no, just give me all of the, conversation they have in the castle and let me see what happens and all of that. So that's Traitors. I just wanted to know who you knew versus who I knew. And you're like, I'm for sure never watching it now because she forced it on me.
No, it's so funny. I don't even know like why we won't watch it. But it was like every time we saw you guys, there would be like a 10-minute conversation about, have you seen The Traitors? No, we haven't yet. Well, let me tell you about The Traitors.
I'm so sorry. It's just literally because I have no one else to talk to about it. Like, no one else.
We'll gladly listen.
Just never watch it. I'm trying to think about the show that I'm that way with you, though, and I cannot remember what it is. But there's something that you're like, oh, yeah, have you watched this? And honestly, it's not a stubbornness or whatever. I just forget.
It's The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I may not ever watch that.
You said, if you're watching the YouTube and not, or you're just listening to the podcast and you didn't see the face that she just gave me, she is never watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Well, the reason is that some podcasters that I love and that I listen to, like, didn't like it. And so that does taint, your view of it. But then I'm like, you also watch Sister Wives every week and then listen to a podcast about it and you disagree with half of what they say. So maybe you would love it. So,
yeah. I think, this is my piece about it. I think you would. Yeah. And season 2 is getting ready to come out. So,
well, you know what? Maybe we should recap season 2.
We should.
And I will catch up on season 1 and we can talk about that. And then we can do season 2.
I especially because you like the Desperate Housewives, I think you would love this. I can't.
Yeah.
But I understand.
I know. You can't say anything because of Traitor.
Because I've not watched a single episode.
Yeah. Well, now, though, I'm like, no,
I'll do it tonight. I'll watch an episode tonight.
I was going to say, jump into season 3 because you will know from season 3 whether or not, oh, okay, I am going to get into this or, wow. So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, you're going to die. Okay. You're going to be like, why is she telling me about it? Because I honestly can't remember. Are you into football whatsoever?
Yes. I don't understand all the rules, but
I gotcha.
This is going to sound so weird. I want like my kids to grow up watching football.
I have been watching on Amazon Prime the docuseries called Coach Prime, which is about Deion Sanders going to it's a college team. And so honest to goodness, I just watched it because I love a good sports docuseries. And then it actually was really, really good. I did not follow Deion Sanders when he was playing, but of course I knew who he was. Remember when he went from the NFL and then started playing baseball. And it's like, wow, what an athlete. Yeah. And so he is actually coaching 2 of his sons on this show.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you are into anybody listening, anybody watching that is into sports at all, or if you are into just a good show, it does have language in it. Same with season 3 of The Traitors, by the way. I did not remember that in the prior seasons, but it's got language, so be prepared for that.
They amped up the language.
Yeah, for real. And honestly, sometimes in those shows, when they beep it, there's so much beeping, you have no idea what's going on. So I think sometimes, unfortunately, for just storyline continuity, you just got to leave it in because you would be like, beep, 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 and have no idea. Okay, so Deion Sanders, though, his oldest, I think it's his oldest son. Anyway, his son, Shador, was the quarterback and amazing. Like, it's not just like somebody who thinks they can play football. Like, he can flat out play football. Like, won awards for being the best quarterback in college. I mean, the real deal. Expected to go first in the draft.
Wow.
Are you aware of who has the first pick in the draft this year?
I am not, no.
It's the Titans.
It's Tennessee. But we've not been, like, historically good ever, right?
Well, there's one time where y'all made it to the Super Bowl, but didn't win it, but still made it the Super Bowl. So since Peyton Manning has retired, which I know it has been a minute, Mark and I have really struggled with who to vote for, who to root for, and all of this. We've tried certain teams and just like, no, we just can't do it. And so we've really been struggling. And I have definitely learned that I am a player person, not necessarily a team person. So if Shador goes to the Titans, I will be a Titans fan. I will be watching him every game. I will.
Yeah.
And Mark has wanted us to be Titans fans because he's like, that's our closest NFL team. So why can't we go for the Titans? And I'm just looking at him like, what would we be rooting for? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I've got to have some kind of hope when I am watching my team play. So I told him, even before I knew any of this, because I've obviously been dipping in and out of football because I don't have an actual team. I used to watch Mike and Mike on ESPN2 every single day. Like, that's how into football I was. And then they broke up, and I've just... Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they broke up. They've gone their separate ways. And I don't even have a show that keeps me up on stuff. So anyway, I am super excited. I will actually be watching the draft to see where he goes. I will be watching to see where Travis goes as well. I forget his last name. He was on the team and he won the Heisman. I mean,
wait, Travis
Deion Sanders? No, Travis. I would say his last name is Harper, but that might be wrong. He won the Heisman, so he's the deal. It is the deal in college football. So anyway, I thought even though I don't think you're into football, I think you'll be super excited that the possibility of him going to the Titans is very real.
Yeah. No, I want to get into football. It's just, you know what I really like watching though? I really like watching, and I found this out when we were doing, it was the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, which was not good and not a good fight at all. It was really sad. But I like watching fights. Like, I like UFC.
Yeah, I love the MMA. Like, I used to watch it every Saturday night. Like, no joke. I love it. No.
I want to go to like an in-person fight.
Yeah, I don't know if I could take that. Like, the sounds. I'm just being honest. Of like someone actually hitting someone's face. Yeah, I don't know. I love it on TV though. Love it.
Well, we found a local like arena that we did not know was here. We drove by it the other day. It's over like by the Knoxville Zoo. So we need to go.
You do need to go and report back. And I will be all about it. Now, I did see, I can't remember if it was WWE or WWF, right? But and I know that is different than MMA. Nobody come at me. Right. I know that. One is much more show for the show, versus actual competition, let's say. But Goldberg, when he first came out and he won against Hulk Hogan, I was in the Atlanta arena when that happened.
Wow. What were you doing there?
I bought tickets and I went because I wanted to see it.
When was that?
We went, I was going to say, this is so long ago. Like, Mark could tell you the actual year. But my sister was married to her first husband, and we had gotten 4 tickets, and we were going with my sister, her husband, Mark, and myself. Well, Becky backed out and ended up just staying home with the kids. And so it was me, my brother-in-law, and Mark standing in the crowds, cheering our heads off. Hilarious. And I have this picture still of me in my shorts with my Goldberg shirt and like my sign, with her ex and my husband on this side of me. And Mark kept saying, you cannot talk crap to anybody because they will not hurt you. They will hurt me.
He's like, please stay quiet.
Yes. So it was funny. But it was, we sat around all the Goldberg fans, so there was no problems.
Crazy.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's not something I would have ever pictured, like, you and Mark, like, wanting to do.
We watched that for so long. It was before Steve Austin. Like, I don't remember when he came out, but I mean, it was before that. Like, they weren't even cussing when we watched it. I remember Randy Savage saying a 4-letter word for the first time on TV and us being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they said H-E-double-L or whatever it was. I mean, a very mild 4-letter word, and then we just kind of lost interest in it. I don't remember why.
Yeah.
If it was a certain character that came out or we just moved and got interested in other things, I don't remember. But yeah, we were huge wrestling fans for a while.
Wow. Okay. Have you guys ever seen ever been to like a monster truck kind of thing or like a demolition derby?
No. And we've never been to a rodeo, and we used to be huge into the PBR. Yep. And I say every January when they come to Louisville, we need to go, and we just never have.
What?
I know.
Yeah, you need to go to a rodeo up here. There's rodeos all the time. You've never been to a rodeo? That's insane to me. That's insane. Okay.
I know. It's so sad.
Up when the Tennessee Valley Fair is in town, like during like September-ish, they have 1 night for a rodeo, they have 1 night for like a tractor pull, and then 1 night for a demolition derby. And you guys would love all of those. Maybe not the tractor pull is a little light.
We would. Do you know Mark?
Well, it can be fun, but sometimes it's really slow, Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I've got something to eat and drink, I can make it through.
Yeah. But you would absolutely love a rodeo. Absolutely. Like all of the events are fun and cool. All of them are.
We have some local stuff that comes through, but it's always a conflict with something else. Like always. It's so frustrating.
No, we're gonna plan a day. The part there's one part that they have, and I don't know if this is every rodeo, but all the ones I've been to, they have like a kid, like there's a break, right, for like between like the horses and the like actual bull riding. And it's where they get all these like 3, 4 and under, 5 and under, something like that. All these kids, and they have them like ride on a lamb or ride on a sheep and see how long they can hold on to the sheep.
Yeah. And it's called like mutton busting.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Mutton busting. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're nervous, like more nervous watching that than watching like the adults like on a bull.
Yeah. Because you're like, what is the actual consent going on here?
You said just here, hold on to this sheep.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like 40 of them. And 40 sheep running over like a 3-year-old if they fall off. Yeah, it's
You
a
mean
lot.
all of them go out at once, not like one at a time?
Yes, they like release them all. Yeah.
No, I think here it's like one at a time. Almost like a bull rider being released, I think.
Wow. Yeah, no, this one was
but
like a herd of them.
40. Yeah, not 40. Like if there were 40 children, you would have to figure out something to do.
Yeah.
That actually sounds amazing. Like I would laugh my head off. Like I would.
It's
maybe
funny.
they're hoping people won't see the injuries if there's that many kids.
Just overcrowded.
My word.
I've seen this on TikTok. I've not seen it in person, but I've always said that I would try and do it if I got it in person, but I don't know that I could. Where at the rodeo, they have like a bull come out and you have to stand in like hula hoops. And it's like the last person standing like wins like a cash prize or something like that. But they have like, they release a bull in an arena and they have like 15, 20 people standing still and you have to like not step out of your hoop and like
No
just let the bull,
way.
yeah, yeah,
Have you
and see
seen
where the bull's gonna
injuries? There's
go.
gotta be injuries.
Yeah, there's injuries, but it's $100 cash prize.
If it was, I don't know, I wouldn't do it for 100. I would add 2 more zeros, 3 more zeros to that, and I would do it.
There we go.
Yeah. Because I
I think
really
I would
don't
do
even
it.
think I would do it for 10,000. Like, I'm being honest with you. I think it would have to
Really?
take $100,000 or up. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, if Mark wanted to do it for 10 grand, I would cheer him on. No. I mean, if he was close to the edge, right? If you could
Right.
like
Get
run
away.
quickly if your nerve got the best of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Mark would have a really good chance because he's so calm. I would not have a chance. They would zero in on me immediately. Yeah. Yeah. Now, they might just be wanting to come and be my friend, but I just would not understand.
No. No. They're not your friend. They are upset.
Yeah, but it's really interesting. A lot of those bulls that are, in the PBR, they say they're really docile. Just they have,
Really?
they are trained. Yeah, I don't really want to know if they tighten something or what they say to it to make it turn to its alter ego.
Make it
But
hurt.
yeah, what? I don't know. I want to know the words so I don't say
Yeah.
it.
It's a sleeper agent.
But they say they're super docile, and you think about that because of the men working there. Like, you wouldn't want a bull that was really going to injure you, like every
No.
day of the week.
Yeah.
We have a neighbor, not a neighbor, but someone who lives very close to us that has the longhorn cattle. And I've always been like, they're so beautiful, but yet I would be so scared of accidental injury.
Yeah.
But come
Yeah.
to find out, this dude is such a smart businessman. It's because he owns an Airbnb, and that's part of the appeal is
Wow.
getting to look out at these long-haired cattle.
Wow.
Long-horned, sorry, not
Longhorn.
haired. Yeah.
Fuzzy cows.
Fuzzy cows. I love a
That's
fuzzy
so
cow.
smart.
But
Yeah. I want a little mini Highland so bad. But, we live in an apartment, so not yet.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want donkeys, but if I say that loud enough, I will get them, and I just want to go visit them.
I see. Yeah.
And llamas. I love llamas, like anything kind of weird like that. I love it.
Aren't llamas mean?
I'm sure not if you raised them right.
I thought they were like mean. Camels were nice, like sweet.
No, they'll spit the fire out of you. Like, even the ones at the zoo, they'll spit on you.
Really? Okay. You have to come to the fair when they have it here, because the Tennessee Valley Fair. Because when they do that, they have like
a llama
little,
to
like,
kill me?
no, they have like a petting zoo, and they've got camels, they've got llamas, they've got,
Yeah.
maybe it's alpacas, not llamas. But aren't they like kind of like the same kind of thing? Like, what's the difference?
They look very similar, and I apologize to people who own them. I'm sure they are completely different animals, but I could not tell you the differences right now.
Yeah. I don't know. But they've got like all those that you can like come and pet, and the camels are always nice and the llamas are always mean.
Wow. Well, I would want to know what they're being fed and how they're being treated. But honestly, it's like children, right? Some are just meaner than snakes, and you can't do a thing about it.
It's just how they were.
Just how they are.
Nature versus nurture.
Being a parent. Yeah, very true. Okay, so you reminded me of a saying that I just heard, and I literally right before we got on the podcast. Okay. And if you want time to think about it, say I'll get back with you next time. But I'm going to read it because I was okay. So I was listening, just scrolling through, and I get a lot of health info because I click on one thing and it is what it is. And so this lady said, genetics loads the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger.
Wow.
What do you think about that one?
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's a, I'm no health expert, but I think that makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. I think we can give ourselves we can be on two sides of it, right? We can be like, oh, I'm going to eat whatever I want because both of my parents passed away from such and such. And so what does it matter? Or you also can be like, you know what? Both of my parents died of such and such. And so it's going to propel me to live a better lifestyle and just, so it can inspire you or not?
Mhm.
I don't know. I was just curious if you thought it was
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I do, because I mean, take outside like all of the physical stuff of it. Like, I know that's like
Mm-hmm.
talking about like the actual like genetic whatever, but your mindset, like what you just talked about, like shifting your mindset, I think is such a huge part of it too, in your perspective. And that is going to
Yes.
impact your lifestyle so much too, versus like,
Yes.
oh, if I just, this has happened, so this is what's going to happen to me. I don't, give a flying flip, or this is what happened. I
Yeah.
don't want this to happen to me. I'm going to try and prevent it. That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great way
Yeah.
of looking at it, because if it helps shift that mindset, then of course like you're going to pay attention to your lifestyle.
And if it doesn't shift your mindset, then just put that saying in the trash and grab one that does, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's something that Wesley and I have talked a lot about, like in prepping for like having kids, is like when you conceive, it's like a snapshot of your genetics, like, or your DNA or something like that, like what you are now. And but you're like, by your second kid or by your third kid, like that can change enough to where it impacts their life too. Even though,
Mm.
same mom and dad, same whatever, but it's a snapshot of your genetics in that moment, or your DNA in that moment. So that's crazy
Yes.
to me.
And it's so interesting. I think this is, you talk about a real snapshot, like literally, if you see a picture of like the Duggars or the Bates or different people who have like multiple kids over multiple years, there are sets within the sets that
Yes.
look more alike.
I think it's absolutely because of like whatever lifestyle. Like, I mean, and like when I say lifestyle, I mean like everything from like your nutrition to your emotional state to your,
Yes.
spiritual state. Absolutely. I think it all
Yeah.
affects your body.
Okay. So before we end, I want to leave
Okay.
you with kind of a funny saying I saw last night as well. Okay.
Okay.
So it said, and I was like, oh my word, this is hilarious to me. It says, you can stick the word absolute in front of anything, and it becomes a top-notch insult. For example, you are an absolute potato.
That hurts more than just you're a potato. You're an absolute potato.
And then I was like, well, potato isn't that funny. So then I was like, I thought of something. And listen, if this gets me canceled, I'm sorry. I don't mean it in any weird way. But it honestly, after I said it, I said, that actually sounds like a real insult. But
What
I
was
think
it?
it's just, okay, so I'm going to try
I
it.
need
Do you
to
want me
use
to try
it.
it or not?
Yeah, because I want to use it.
Okay. You are an absolute Frito.
That's just hurtful. Like, smelly hurtful. And just sounds bad. I don't want to be a
Right?
Frito.
So, like, if someone called me, you are an absolute Frito, I would be like, what? That just, it makes
Excuse
me feel a little bit like off my rocker.
Yeah. Yeah, like a little. Now I've developed a new insecurity now.
Like, what do you mean I'm a Frito? What does that mean? And then I got thinking maybe Frito really is something, because now I couldn't have just made that up. I don't know. So anyway.
Like, insulting someone's
No.
smell is like the worst thing you can do. And maybe that's just me. But I like, if like insulting that, yeah.
No.
That's horrible.
I don't watch one of the one franchises I don't watch. I've never watched The Real Housewives of New York, and I don't currently. There's a lot of controversy about, because they've done a whole new cast. There's someone on there called Jenna Lyons, who is like a big, I think she was the CEO of Abercrombie or one of those,
wow.
one of those big brands. Yeah. Somebody talked about how they keep talking about how she smells.
That's so bad. It's okay. If you're a man listening to this, first off, what are you doing here? Thank you for watching, but this is not geared for you.
Thank you to my son and my husband.
But like, as a woman especially, like, that's so like, cursing is not the right word. It's like,
right. It is soul crushing.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Well, on that note,
we would like any sponsors for fragrances that are synthetic free.
Summer's Eve, please sponsor us.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you've liked anything that you've heard, hit like, subscribe, share us with all your friends. Give us comments about what you want us to talk about, because I'm willing to talk about anything. How about you, Emily?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Bye-bye.